All right, let's check this out by Mujin. The catastrophic mismanagement behind LA's wildfires. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be about like the water and then just the entire like DEI stuff around like dude, apparently the thing was real, by the way. Remember that thing we saw the other day about how they actually said that you shouldn't have gotten yourself into a bad spot if I have to carry you out? That was real. That was actually real. I thought there was no way it could have been real. I thought it was a parody or like a made up thing, but it was real. Actually, do we have that video again? I kind of want to watch it again. This video is apparently real.
House, you want to see.
This is real, apparently.
Somebody that responds to you. You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease.
Isn't that kind of racist? No, like, hear me out. Isn't that kind of racist to be like, I don't feel comfortable because you don't look like me. Like, you're coming here to like save me from the fire, but like now I feel uncomfortable because you don't look like me. That's like actually racist. Like, what is this guy talking about?
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a...
Dude, doesn't he kind of looks like, you know, like in Attack on Titan, you know, there's like that one Titan that has like the really kawaii eyes. Kind of looks like that a little bit.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? I think that's a go. You couldn't care.
Wait, really? Am I in trouble? Did I misgender someone? My bad. I mean, can you blame me? Can you blame me, guys?
Strong enough to do this, or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Like you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire? Yeah, well, I mean, what? He's dead now. Right, he's dead. Like, what do you mean by that? Hold on. Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire? I mean, he would be dead. Bro. How freaking ridiculous is that? How freaking... Can you imagine, like, if that was used in any other way? They're literally victim blaming. You know how they always talk about victim blaming? And they're like, oh, like, you can't blame... It's victim blaming. That's literally victim blaming right there. What? Oh, you shouldn't have dressed so sexy then. Literally the same thing. Holy fuck, that's so fucking crazy, dude. That's unreal. That's so crazy. It's crazy because that's super racist. I mean, at least to me, I think that's racist. Like, if you showed up, if you showed up and they're like, sorry, like, I feel really uncomfortable right now because you don't look like me. That's like literally racist. Like, can you, okay, guys, imagine this. Wait. Actually, I just thought of something, guys. Wait, according to that logic, shouldn't we mostly hire white firefighters then? Because it's mostly white people, right? That way, because can you imagine, dude? Can you imagine if there was a white family and there's a black firefighter and the white family said, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable because you don't look like me. Can you even imagine that? It would be fucking crazy. Or white majority in Cali? I mean, I don't know. We can take a look. It might not be the case anymore, but let me see. Oh, it's actually 30. Dude, see, it's only 5% black. So like, why don't we? You know what? Might as well go all the way then. But this is my problem with it. If this is how they're gonna roll, hear me out, guys. If this is how they're gonna roll, then I better see fucking 40% of the firefighters being Latino, 35% being white, 15% being Asian, and only 5% black. If we go over 5% black, that's racist. Let's use their own logic then. Why not go all the way? No, I'm serious. If they're gonna play this game, then just do it. You can't have both. You can't say like, oh, like it needs to be like the percentages need to line up, but only in like one direction. That doesn't make any sense. These rules only go one way. I mean, that's my problem. Is like, can we get some consistency? You know what I mean? Yeah, if we want to play like this like percentage demographics thing, then let's play this percentage demographics thing. Fine. I mean, I don't like that. I don't prefer that. I think that's awful. I think that's awful and it's evil. But I mean, you might as well go all the way if that's what you're going to do, right? This is a competence crisis people keep talking about. Same goes for, yeah, oh yeah, true. Same goes for the NBA and NFL. Yep. All of the jobs. It doesn't matter like how shitty the job is. In fact, let's fuck it. Like no more men working on oil rigs. Just throw all the women on oil rigs and like make them take out the trash too. Yeah, like the people that work in cesspools and like the people that have to they clean up like the sewers and shit like that. Let's get more women in there. I mean, obviously, I don't think that's ideal. I think people should do what they're good at. That's what I think. I think it should be 100% based on merit. Like if I were in charge, it would be 100% merit based. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you look like, what your race is, what your creed. I don't care. Like all I care about is like, let's get like the best people working in the best jobs. I mean, all I'm asking for is that they should be consistent. That's what I think. I think they should have consistent rules. I don't know. I just think it should be 100% merit based. That's how I feel about it. Whoever's the best should get the job. That's it. Anyway, let's watch the video.
Tens of thousands of structures destroyed as hundreds of thousands of people are evacuated. A health emergency declared due to all the smoke in the air.
Dude, you want to know the funny? You want to know, Chopper Scout says anti-whiteism. You want to know the funny thing is? You want to know what I've seen online people say about me? Chopper, specifically on that. You know, people say to me, they said, doesn't Leaflit know that that pandering to them is gonna get her nothing? That they're gonna get her next? I'm like, what? Are you saying that because I'm Asian? Like, what? Like, how fucking racist is that? That's unreal. That's unreal, bro. Like, what? Yeah, I know. Isn't that fucked up? It's like literally like the, well, they think I pander to white people. And then the right leaf, they're gonna get you. They're like basically saying that the betrayal is coming from me. Yeah, anyway.
Police deployed to burnt areas because of looters. Tap water isn't even safe to drink or cook with. And a fire tornado straight from the gates of hell itself, with winds reaching over.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, it looks fucking cool. Doesn't that look fucking cool? It looks like a noble phantasm
itself, with winds reaching over 85 miles per hour. Not only is this a natural disaster, but we're also witnessing one of the biggest logistical disasters in history. Historians are going to write about this, but before they do, we're going to talk about it in this video, starting with this map. These are all the structures and buildings destroyed because of this fire so far, and we're only getting started. Look at the amount of destruction here. This is insane.
Oh my god.
Massive communities wiped off the
Wait, hold on. Let's
take
a look at this again. Hold on.
And we're all the structures and buildings destroyed.
Dude, Palisades is fucked. Dude, can you imagine these people right here? Wait, are these the ones that got destroyed? Wait, or is it the red ones? The red, dude, can you imagine being these guys?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, you dodged the bullet.
The red,
look,
white,
dude, imagine if you're this guy right here. What if you're this? You're like living like literally this guy right here. You're like, holy shit, everything's burning around me.
And we're only getting started. Look at the amount of destruction here. This is insane. Massive communities wiped off the face of.
I have video on my phone of like the one time there was a fire that was like right on top of my house. It was in the hills, and I remember I remember going outside, and I was like, man, it smells like fucking smoke. Like, what's going on? I looked up, and the fucking hills were on fire. I was like, what the shit, right? And I remember they locked down my entire neighborhood. I used to live like kind of so there's like this forest in California. It's not really like a major, it's not like a forest like in the traditional sense. It's like kind of light forest. It's not like really like thick. It's like, California forests don't get like super thick, at least like in the South. But it is a forest. It's like Sharpboro Forest, right? And at the edge of this place, there's basically like my house, and then there's like one street. So like imagine like if I use this map as an example, say like I live here, and then there's like a street like this, and then this is forest, like all the way up here. Yeah, if I live here, there's like one more street, and then there's like apartments. So it's like I lived here, and then one street, and then across the street there was apartments here, and then forest behind it. It was all forest behind it, like wild forest. And there was like a mountain here, and that mountain was like on fire. And it was crazy. And they locked down the entire neighborhood. They said like they evacuated like all the people that lived here. And then across this street wasn't evacuated, but they basically locked down the entire area. Like they closed all the streets like coming in, and they only let you in if you actually had like proof of ID that like you lived in there.
The earth Now this
The
map
entire
right here
thing was
is
on
for
fire.
evacuations. Okay, look at this massive area. Whatever is in orange is already burning. Whatever's in red is an evacuation order. If you live in these areas, you are obligated to leave
They burned the proposed bullet train path. It was planned.
immediately. And whatever's in yellow is an evacuation.
Dude, is that real? That it's like, because all those houses were like super expensive. Dude, that would be fucking crazy. That would be crazy.
Okay, you have to be on standby, and you can receive
I like the conspiracy theories though. I like
the message at any moment telling
they're
you to
fun.
leave.
I don't know. Like I find conspiracy theories to be so fun.
Fires are so deep in the city that they're so close to Santa
But
Monica.
but I was like that kid that would check out books about aliens. Like when I was a kid, I go to the library. Listen, it was a long time ago. Okay, I went to the library, and you'd look up in the catalog, and they have like the little paranormal section. I'd like get stuff about freaking vampires and like aliens and stuff, and that's what I would read.
Itself. But I want you to imagine something. Imagine that you are a Los Angeles resident living in these yellow areas. You receive a message on your phone, an emergency alert with a loud sound saying new. This is an emergency message from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. An evacuation warning has been issued in your area. Remain vigilant of any threats and be ready to evacuate. Gather loved ones, pets, and supplies. Continue to monitor local weather, news, and the webpage Alerta for more information.
If you live in an area, by the way, that has any sort of natural disaster, you and your family should have a plan, and you should have like a fucking box that has like the stuff in it that you need to survive. You should be able to like throw that in your car and like leave immediately.
Now, this message was made to be sent to people in the yellow areas when their areas turn red. But in this case, millions of Los Angeles residents received these messages on their phones, some not even close to the fires. How would you feel seeing a message like this when you have
holy crap,
an elderly parent or children or pets? But hey, don't worry, it's all good. It's okay.
This is bad. So the reason why this is bad especially in Los Angeles, and let me tell you, you do not know traffic until you've lived in Los Angeles or San Francisco. You don't know shit about traffic. I guess if you live in New York, you might know shit about traffic, but the traffic is so fucking unreal in Los Angeles. It's so bad. And I remember people telling me like, oh, the traffic is so fucking bad in Texas. People were telling me this. The traffic is terrible in Texas. I'm like, what? And I get here and I'm like, dude, this is nothing compared to, okay, so before, to go from like kind of like basically imagine like here, see here on the map, to go from like, and there's no map, but like just imagine it was like it's over here and the map continues, like to get from like here to like here is like 3 hours. It's like 3 fucking hours, man. I know because I used to drive it. I used to drive 2 to 3 hours one way to work. Can you guys fucking imagine that? Can you imagine driving 2 to 3 hours one way to work and then having to drive 2 to 3 hours back after work? Can you guys imagine that shit? And then you get paid fucking minimum wage or nothing. Like, bro, it was so bad. You barely made like the gas money back, really, if anything. And like, by the way, on top of that, the gas is $5 a gallon. Over $5 a gallon. It's like $5 to $7.
Because they received a message around.
So anyway, sorry, I went on a little tangent there. The reason why it's bad is if you so say like these people are trying to evacuate out, right? They're gonna go like south, right? Because it's not really fucking anything up here. Like honestly, they're gonna go south, right? Towards like the city. And then if you alert all of these people here that they need to evacuate, what's going to happen? See these fucking, it's going to have a heart attack. Los Angeles is going to have a heart attack because all of these like, these highways, these like arteries are going to get clogged up by cars, right? Everybody trying to leave. Like, what are your options here? Like, you either have to take this one. This is the one I used to take like when I used to work in like Inglewood. I used to take this highway here, but you would you're just gonna get stuck here, and there's really like no good way to get to, like, if you're in the middle, like you don't really have a choice. Like this road sucks. Like if you go like this way, I think this is like PCH or something. This sucks right here. If you go this way, it sucks ass. So you'd have to go like up here and then take this down. And this is all going to be clogged up, right? All the way. Clogged up everywhere.
All good. It's okay. Because they received a message around 20 minutes later saying, oops, sorry, disregard last evacuation. It was for Kenneth Fire only. So the fire that's very far around here, close to Agora Hills and Calabasas. You think to yourself, okay, fine, listen, this made me panic like crazy, but hey, this was one mistake. I'm sure it won't happen again. Well, guess what? You go to sleep and at 4 a.m., you're woken up because of a very loud sound on your phone. It's another emergency alert saying the same exact thing. Guess what? This one was also sent to millions of people.
You guys remember when they sent everyone in Hawaii a message that like a fucking missile was coming? That was real shit, man. That was the real shit.
And it was also a false alarm. This sparked massive panic, all right? And now people don't even trust these messages anymore. Authorities are worried that if they send an evacuation message to people, they're going to disregard it. And why wouldn't they? How could this happen?
Yeah, because they fuck it up all the time.
A first world country in a state like California. Have we learned nothing from 2018? Hawaiians back then had to deal with a message like this sent to their phone.
Yeah, that's the one. Ballistic. Can you imagine if you got that to your phone? Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. Because what else would it be besides a nuclear bomb? Right? Why would they launch a ballistic missile to Hawaii that wasn't a nuke? That's fucking crazy, right? Like,
threat is inbound to
crazy.
Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. This turned out to be false, of course, but it was tragic. Families were calling each other saying goodbye. But it was unfortunately only the tip of the iceberg. This led to the famous copy pasta of someone having intercourse with their biological sister because they thought they were going to die anyway, so...
Wait, what? Is that fucking... Dude, can you imagine that? Holy fuck.
Why not? Okay?
Bro.
We cannot have more incidents like these happen. And this is one of many
Bro.
logistical
That's
failures
crazy.
that have occurred in Los Angeles only in the last few days. Look,
I wonder if that's real. Probably fake, but the story is hilarious.
Look, I lived in Los Angeles for a few years of my life, and I can tell you
Hey,
right
yo,
now,
what did I
wildfires
just
are a yearly
heard?
occurrence.
Zenta chaos,
Initially, the
lol.
red skies and the smoky air is going to shock you, but by the second year you live there, you'll understand this is something that happens all the time.
Thanks for the bits, right? Thank you, man. You moved to NJ to TN. People have no idea what traffic is.
Why does
Yeah,
it happen?
for real, man.
Well, the phenomenon is called whiplash, where you have extremely wet weather at one time and then extremely dry weather at the other with no in-betweens. Los Angeles weather always fluctuates between two extremes.
Yes.
And it typically has very dry winters like right now, which means that all the moisture from
Los Angeles barely rains. You only get a couple of days of rain per year.
grass and any vegetation is completely gone in the mountains, and it's all going to act like fuel at the slightest little spark that lights up for whatever reason. When you combine this with such insane winds that can spread embers
The wind is the big problem because it's feeding the fire, right?
miles away.
It's kind of like, have you guys ever like grilled food and like you use a fan to like blow the coals to make them hotter? It's like that.
This is how you get a ridiculous amount of
Or
fire.
I don't know, that might be a Japanese thing. I don't know. Do you guys use fans with charcoal? Is that like a thing? I don't know. I use a fan. Like fan is one of my tools when I'm grilling outside.
Fire spreading way too quickly. Not to mention that this wind can knock
I
down
use the fan for temperature control when I'm cooking outside. Like I'm grilling like some chicken or something like that, or like some steaks. I'll use like a fan to like heat up the charcoal like to like the temperature I want it to be.
UFC fighter if it wanted to.
Use
Even if you have
billows,
the
I see.
equipment, you can't even make it to where the fire is.
I have a bunch of really cute cooking fans. I have a Precure one, and I have one for some hentai novel ones. I've got like a bunch.
Is because the wind would stop you. Because fires are a yearly occurrence in Los Angeles, one could say that it's like earthquakes in Japan. Earthquakes in Japan happen often, which is why they've converted all their infrastructure to be made specifically to resist them as much as possible. But this begs the question that everyone's asking. How is it that fire hydrants in Los Angeles, a city that gets wildfires all the time, ran out of water immediately? Firefighters
Thanks for the
would show
bits,
up to the
Reptile.
scene,
Thank you.
use water a little bit, and then all of a sudden realize, wait, this is already out of water. We have to leave immediately. Well, it turns out that there was a water reservoir in the Palisades, the biggest fire going on right now, right? That had a capacity of 117 million gallons that was empty. And it didn't get empty recently, it's been empty for an entire year, making residents furious.
Oh god, I was
This
so
isn't just a
scared.
water capacity issue, right? The less water you have, the less water pressure you have as well. And when the winds are so crazy, you need very good water pressure to be able to counter the extremely strong fires. This was a
Yep.
water capacity and a water pressure logistical disaster. And many are wondering, how could this happen?
Just since I remember when someone started the fire during the gender reveal, that was the last big one. Wasn't that the one that in San Bernardino?
This is the most taxed state in the United States, after all. If you live in California, you pay as much.
Dude, look at look at that. 13.3%. How can you guys live here? I just don't live there. I don't get it. The only reason to live in California is for family. If you're living in California for there's two reasons. One, work, as in like you have a really good job that pays really well, or family. If those two aren't a factor, what are you doing with your life? Dude, I cannot. What are you doing? You need to go. They're gonna keep you in the tutorial forever. The tutorial of life. You need to get out of there, man.
Tax state in the United States, after all. If you live in California, you pay as much taxes as I do in France, but here at least I get free healthcare. Like, what's going on? Well, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, posted this on his Twitter account, saying that
When is Gavin Newsom gonna go Trudeau? I need it
he's
so
calling for an
bad.
independent investigation into the loss of water pressure to local fire hydrants and the reported unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir. We need answers to ensure this does not happen again, and we have every resource available to fight these catastrophic
guy is
fires.
so
But to
insufferable.
many, this just sounds like Mr. Beast investigating himself. This shouldn't have happened to begin with. An investigation shouldn't have happened to begin with. But it did, and it severely impacted what
Just looking for something to blame again. These guys are the worst.
firefighters could even do, because without water, they can't do anything. They're just human beings at the end of the day. This prompted other countries to step in to help, like Mexico and Canada, more specifically the province of Quebec, sending their super scooper plane carrying a lot of water, dumping it on the fires. But here's the thing. The pilot flying this plane, volunteering, almost lost his life because some idiot was flying his drone over the fires trying to capture footage.
That's the most Californian thing I have ever fucking heard. That is so fucking Californian. Holy shit.
This hit the wing of the Super Scooper and almost downed the plane. It can't help anymore. In fact, planes and helicopters were forbidden from going for a while because of all these drones in the air risking their lives. Now, yes, the police department did say that if you're flying a drone in the area right now, you risk a $75,000 fine. But dude, the damage was done. This is another logistical disaster. The firefighters were lacking water and now didn't have access
They should have just shot the drones down. They should have had someone shooting the drones down, honestly.
to foreign aid for a while. So far, no one's been arrested, but it's not like it's a priority because people
I bet you could get a bunch of you can get a bunch of farmers to do it for free. Just recruit all the farmers, be like, hey, here's some, bring your shotguns, like, hunting season on drones. You go out here, you can shoot all the drones you want for free. They would do it for free.
are too distracted by things that don't exist right now. One of the fires that sparked up in Los Angeles was in the Hollywood Hills, something unprecedented. But thankfully, it was contained
California doesn't like guns. You can get a shotgun in California. Shotguns are okay in California.
within a day and isn't a threat anymore.
California is ironic. They're scared of handguns.
This hasn't stopped tens of millions of people to believe that this footage is real. Yes, even though there's 3 L's in the Hollywood sign, many people thought this was real. There were many videos shared of the Hollywood sign burning, either taken from movies, series, YouTube videos, you name it. And people ate it up. Like this TikTok right here.
Steve says shooting bullets in the air in the city. Yeah, in the evacuated areas, yeah. Also it would be birdshot, so it wouldn't be too bad.
With 4.4 million likes
You just need birdshot to get drones. You don't really need like more than that.
and tens of millions of views asking who the hell said there was a fire on the Hollywood sign. Many of the comments being in complete disbelief, asking themselves if they actually fell for AI, and it turns out they did. But whether you were tricked by this video or not, many people thought that these fires had something to do with arson, and it wouldn't be the first time a major fire in Los Angeles was caused by human negligence. A devastating fire at the end of 2017 was caused by power lines sparking. One of the craziest Los Angeles fires that was caused back in 2020 was because of a malfunctioning smoke machine that caught fire during a gender reveal party. It ended up claiming the life of a veteran firefighter. This is making many people believe that it's too much of a coincidence that many of these fires are starting next to residential areas. Like this tweet right here claiming that there's an arsonist in L.A. Well, some residents spotted someone on a bicycle.
Dude, yeah, what if there is? Dude, wouldn't that be like if you were like a serial killer, or you were just like an evil person? This would be like hardcore min-maxing. Yeah.
Carrying a blowtorch in their neighborhood 30 minutes after the Kenneth fire had started. They took him down, tied him up, and then called the police, who showed up 30 minutes later. He claimed that he was carrying a blowtorch because he used it to light up weed. Yes. The reason why this was significant was because the Los Angeles Police Department had initially said that it believed that the Kenneth fire was started intentionally, unlike the others. But obviously when they said this, they had no proof, and they still don't. They wanted to put this guy in jail no matter what, but didn't have enough evidence to do anything with him. The damage was done though. People are now paranoid over the fact that there are arsonists starting these fires on purpose, inciting more panic and conspiracy theories. Someone else got arrested, a 60-year-old woman, for starting a fire that was thankfully very quickly extinguished by authorities, adding more fuel to the fire. No pun intended, but you get what I mean. But whether it was arson or natural causes, the question remains. How did the senior and top officials...
It doesn't matter, because even if it's arson, it shouldn't get that bad.
Allow this to happen by being so badly prepared? Insurance companies saw this coming a mile away last summer in 2024 by canceling the coverage of everyone in the Pacific Palisades. It didn't matter how long you were subscribed to their insurance. They weren't the only insurer to do this, all giving the same reasons that if they stayed there, they faced the risk of bankruptcy. So yeah, it's not just health insurance that's coming in the US, it's any type of insurance, including home insurance. While mad at both the mayor and the governor, with one Palisade resident finding Gavin Newsom and confronting him, asking him, how did you allow this to happen? Why is this happening? And look at his response. It's ridiculous.
I'm talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it.
I'm literally on the phone with the president.
I'm telling you, he looks like the dude from Stranger Things, man. Like the guy, the lab owner.
My phone isn't working. This is a resident.
The dude who they're calling Papa, right? He looks like them. He looks like him.
California and give it what it needs in the face of disaster, and yet she was completely and utterly failed. At the same time, there's a petition calling for the mayor to resign because she also did not prepare for this. Currently sitting.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. It's not gonna happen. So what's gonna happen is like this is gonna happen. They're gonna hit this petition thing, and then they're gonna get recalled, and then the people are gonna just vote for him again. I don't know if it's because it's one or the other. Either A, the people in California are absolutely retarded, and they're unsalvageably retarded. That's one. Or two, it's corrupt. It's corrupt, and the vote is completely fucked up. It's either A or B or a combination of the two.
Over 78,000 signatures and going up by the second. I mean, look at all these signatures happening right now as I'm talking. People are very pissed. As I'm recording this at 2 a.m. European time on January 12th.
I'm telling you, that's literally why we left. That's literally why me and my mom left California. Because they tried to recall Gavin Newsom before this even happened. This was like years ago. They tried to recall his ass, and people voted for him to stay in. And me and my mom are so dumbfounded, like, how is this even possible? Like, how is this possible? Well, like, how much he fucked up, how is this possible? How is it possible that people were like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I think he's pretty good. How did this even happen?
The Palisades fire is only 11%
California,
contained,
where freedom is dead, or at most on life support,
and then completely extinguished.
Thanks for the bits, Yoshi. Yeah, I left. I left Ashka, and I'm never coming back.
Fire, same thing, sitting at 15%. Now the firefighters and government
As someone who has never lived in California, I will never go back to California.
Actually contain the fires, but here's the problem.
Don't go to San Francisco. San Francisco is the worst place to like visit if you're gonna go to California. LA is a little bit better. At least in LA, they won't break into your fucking car in like 5 minutes. It's not as bad in LA. In San Francisco though, not even worth going there.
The winds keep getting worse and they're not calming down. Worst case, they keep going until next week, which means that unless more people are mobilized, more water is somehow found, and more measures are taken, this fire will continue spreading. And I want to make sure to say that this is not the...
Shaima says it's not complicated, Leaf. It happened because that's more important for most Californians to retain their Democrat identity and suffer rather than let a Republican into office.
But Leaf, why would San Francisco be bad? I heard they are very diverse, and diversity is strength. Kappa.
Thanks for the bits, you guys, man. Thank you, Yoshi and Kukuna. Thank you, man. Man, I just realized they're literally fucking simps. They're literally simping for the Democrat Party. Literal simps, dude. That's fucking crazy. I don't know.
They are cultists.
I'm gonna be real. I don't understand. I don't understand that mindset at all. I vote for whoever is gonna do the best job. Whoever I think is gonna do the best job, that's who I vote for. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what their name, the letter or the color or whatever. I don't care. Like whoever I think is gonna do the best job, I'd vote for them. It doesn't matter.
Fault of the firefighters or the first responders.
The Democrats are their gods gone beyond simping.
Responsible though are the senior officials.
As a long-time resident of California, it has never been this way in the past. I wonder if there is a correlation between all the gentrification problem we have experienced in the past decade. Regardless, a lot of us are still here voting against liberal policies. It has been a
long demoralizing fight. Yeah, but okay, so like I get it, but like thank you for the bits, by the way, Rensis. I get it, but dude, you have your own life to live, man. You got to think about like yourself and your family. Right? Like if you're going to have a family one day, like are you going to raise them in California? Like how can you even do that? How can you even afford like to even give your family a good life living in California? Like you can't even buy, like how much, like a cheap house in California is what, like $700K or something? Like maybe $600K if you're lucky, like in the suburban areas of like Los Angeles or something like that. I'm not even talking about like living in the city. I'm talking about like the suburbs. It's still like $600K, 600 to 1 million for a house, right? You're thinking about that. In Texas, you can get a house for the same house for $250,000. So it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like you need to like have money. You need to have money in order like, to pay for like, say you want to like, you want to like either homeschool or you want to send your kids to private school. You have to like pay for that. You have to pay for them having, good food, like good supplies for education, like whatever else that they need. Extracurricular activities and like how can you even exist in California? I just don't understand. If you're like, unless you have like an inheritance, like you have like your family's been in California for a while and you have a house that you can inherit eventually, it just doesn't make any sense at all. Like you're just going to be stuck paying rent and just guys.
Unfortunately, Leaflit, I believe the same as you, and the people should get out. But Keisha put it best that for many who don't leave, it isn't simple. It is their home and all they know.
Well, that's why I said that there are only two reasons to stay in California. One is you have a high paying job, like you work in Silicon Valley or something like that. You have a high paying job that's like, it compensates for the fact of you living in California. Or B, you have a lot of family there. Those are the only reasons. Because hear me out when I say this, guys. Like this is like probably the most important thing I'm gonna say. And like, if you're like, you're just starting out in life, like say you're like 20 years old or something, you're like in your 20s, hear me out. You're like me too, fellow 20-year-olds, but hear me out. The game does not start until you get out of the tutorial, and getting out of the tutorial is not paying rent. If you're still paying rent, you are not in a good spot. You need to like not pay rent. you're not gonna get anywhere until you stop paying rent. That is like the most important thing that you need to like focus on. If your early game build should be like trying to not pay rent as hard as possible. Like you need to like try to find some kind of property that you can buy to not pay rent. I'm gonna become a squatter, says Fear. I mean, honestly, like if you like, I think this is, if you're in California, there's like a really good strat here, and it's like if your parents would allow you to stay at home, you should stay at home. You shouldn't move out. If you're, especially if you're in California, you shouldn't move out. You should just save all your money. Like, stay at home, live with your parents, start building up money until you can buy a place. It's so important, and the reason why is, I'm gonna explain this to you, okay, guys? Like, this is like really basic shit, but like some people, they don't teach you this in school for some fucking reason. But when you pay rent, you are literally throwing the money away, right? Like, let's say your rent, and what's like a good rent in California? Like $1,500. Is that like how much rent costs in California? 1.5K? That sounds about average. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, let's just be generous and go with 1.5K, right? Now imagine you are literally throwing that away every month. That is like actually what you're doing, because you pay the 1.5K and it's gone. It's literally gone, right? Every single month, that money's gone and doesn't exist for you anymore. Okay? Now, here's what happens when you buy a house, okay? You buy a house, and let's say it's like it's a down payment. The expensive thing, the hard thing about getting a house is a down payment. So, like, you have to have a, like, 20% or something like that in order to, at least 20%. Is that right? Is it 20? Is it 15? I don't fucking know. I always do 20 or more, so I don't know. But basically, you have to have the upfront money, which is like in the tens of thousands, right? So like if your house is, let's be generous here and say it's like 500K, right? And like you have pretty good credit. I mean, that's still what, $75,000 at 15%? 75, is that, I did that math right? Yeah, yeah. $75,000 that you need like in the bank to even to begin to buy a house. Okay? And again, if you move to like Texas, that's way cheaper. Right? In Texas, that's less than 30,000. Do you see what I mean? So, once you buy a house, you pay the down payment. Now you have this house. Now you take that same amount of money, the 1.5K, you put that, you pay your mortgage, which honestly costs about the same. The mortgage costs about the same as like rent, actually. The only major difference is you have to pay for like repairs and like utilities. Like, if there's any repairs and stuff like that, you have to like pay for that yourself. Like, that's the major difference. The major benefit of renting is like you don't give a fuck about that stuff, right? But that $1,500 that you used to throw away, it now gets put into the house. So like it stacks. So now you're making that 1.500 is not being thrown away. You're living in the house, but that money is accruing. And it's also appreciating in value as the property value goes up. So now like the house is like your asset, and that 1.5K is now like an investment rather than being literally thrown away. Do you see how like this is fucked up now? Do you see what I mean? Like how if you're in the apartment phase where you're like paying rent, you see how you're stuck basically? You're fucking perma-stuck basically. And this is why California is so fucked up, because the housing is so expensive there, and like buying a house is so expensive and rent is so expensive that you're just perma-stuck in this fucking spiral where you can't get out of it. And that's why I'm saying, like, you need to move out. Like, dude, you need to move out. You can get a house in Texas for $150,000. A brand new house with fiber internet.
But
it's not a big house.
The only reason why properties prices goes up is because we are bringing in infinity people from the outside.
The only reason why properties prices is going up because we are bringing in infinity. Well, it's also development. Peton, like if you buy like an area at like the edge of suburbia urban area or even actually everywhere, because the city also crawls out. You're just making more money because the land becomes more valuable as it develops. Anyway, that's why it's so important. And again, it's like I said, $150,000 fiber internet in Texas. I always say fiber internet because that's a big deal for me, right? It's a very Asian mindset. Usually not true in most cases. What isn't true? Wait, what isn't true, Peton? What is a very Asian mindset? What do you mean by that? What part? Owning property is destroy value? Wait, are you saying it's not? Wait, Peton, are you saying it's not? Hold on. Owning property is destroy value? It is, but it's not as good as other sources, though. But hold on. But Peton, it is as good as others. How can it be worse than other sources when you need a place to live? What do you mean? You need to have a place to live. So what are you talking about? I'm confused. Also, how is that an Asian mindset? Well, the first house is obviously a good thing, but I'm talking about the ones. No, wait, but hold on. But you're changing my argument. Wait, hold on. When did I say anything about buying another house? No, I'm not banning someone for disagreeing with me, Nix. No, wait, but I never said anything about that. That's literally not what I was talking about. Can we agree on that? Because that's not what I was talking about. Asians are buying all the land. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about?
Property barely gains any value by itself. It's the dollars that's being debased by inflation, thus all things priced in dollars are worth more.
Thanks, I'm just saying you could easily turn this argument and start talking about a different group of people, and it would be very sketch at that point. I'm just saying, probably get in big trouble. Anyway, I wasn't even talking. I don't know why we were talking about that. I wasn't even talking about second property. Am I wrong? Did I say something that was misunderstandable? I feel like I get misunderstood a lot. I was not talking about buying multiple properties. I was talking about buying one property. Yeah, well, why did we bring that up then, Peton? I'm just confused. Hold on, because this whole thing started because you said I have a very Asian mindset. Wait, were you talking to me? You were talking to me. Were you not talking to me? Why would you say that's a very Asian mindset? That's me. You're talking about me, right? I don't know. I'm going to drop it. But like, I wasn't talking about that at all. Just clarifying my point. I was only talking about your very, very first house. Obviously, you want like your first house, right? Yeah. And that's why I'm saying you have to move out. Yeah, you got... come on, guys. Let's calm down. Let's not call each other racist. Let's not call each other racist and stuff. Let's just calm down a bit. But, like, I'm only saying this because, like, I don't want people to make the same mistakes as me. Does that make sense? I want people to win early and win hard. Because if you're able to, like, kind of just suck it up for, like, the early game, you're going to be way better off, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway. Take it if you want or not. I'm just saying that you shouldn't live in California. And the reason why you can't win there is because it's... the reason why you can't win in California is because it's too expensive. It's too expensive to get out of the tutorial in California. Unless, like, your family owns a house already and you're going to inherit it. Or you can stay there for free. Or you really, really need to be with your family. But do understand that, like even that... like, staying there for your family, you're fucking over your future family. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna move on, but if there's one thing you listen to, I hope you would listen to that. Then I hope to see you in like 5 to 10 years and you're like, wow, Leaflit, I listened to your advice and I'm popping off.
Crack water reservoirs, make sure fire hydrants are functioning, because it's their fault. And unless something changes with those people, this is gonna happen again next year, mark my words. Anyway, please stay safe out there, and thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next video whenever that is, and yeah, love you so much. Mwah.
Bro, I'm literally on the phone with the president right now. Dude, that was like so close to the fucking end of the video. And I was literally right at the end of the video. And then I tangented for like 30 minutes. Like literally right at the end. Fucking hell, Gavin Newsom.